the dial, feel the fire. Night is waking with desire. Careening wind on the wire, calling you to dance tonight. Brass is shining like a sunrise, beats are jumping in our blood. Every signal is a story, every fate a little love. Oh, ¿dónde está la señal? Aquí, aquí. ¿Dónde baila la noche? Aquí, aquí. Si la banda está viva, baila, dice, baila así. Fiesta en la banda, vamos a gozar. Signals from the islands dancing in the dark. Fiesta en la banda, move your heart and feet. DX in the rhythm, DX in the beat. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tonight the world is on the dial. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come and dance with me a while. Tropo rising like a drum line. Voices drift across the sea. Cumbia steps from faraway lands. Salsa swirling endlessly. Merengue wind comes rolling through. FM sparkles on the breeze.
Whoa. Okay, Gary. Told you, don't route the audio through the autologger computer, okay? Got a ground loop the size of Texas. Come on, man, jeez. Alright, recovering. Impedance is matched. SWR's... It's manageable, I guess. Hey, Peter, how we looking?
Well, your modulation is a bit hot. You're hitting the limiter like it owes you money. But the signal is stable. No QSB here. I threw a handful of ferrite beads at the server rack and prayed to the ionosphere gods. I believe we are technically compliant.
Hey, technically compliant, that's kind of our thing. Look, you've really got to lock this in. This is a big one tonight. The Mixtape, Volume 1. We're playing the hits, baby.
Yes, the good playlist. Finally. I was worried you were going to play that track where the robot sings about sporadic E in D minor for 10 minutes. I can't be sure, but I believe that song violates several international treaties. But what you have queued up, this is pure analog warmth. Emulated digitally, compressed into an MP3 and streamed over a questionable internet radio server. This truly is the pinnacle of the hobby.
Hey, don't throw shade at the server. I just reset the router. The noise floor is non-existent. Peter, it's dead quiet out there. Perfect conditions for this broadcast.
The noise floor is quiet because everyone else is off DXing, or at the least having dinner, Loyd. Only the dedicated and the slightly deranged are listening now. You know what I mean? Our people.
Yeah.
So, let's stop staring at the VU meter. Push the fader up and let's give them some RF burns.
Hey, you heard the man, Gary. Ready? 3, 2, take us out, Peter.
Ladies and gentlemen, DXers and insomniacs, you have been listening to static for too long. It's time for clarity. Welcome to the gold standard. This is DX Radio.
In the glow of the screen, it's a Friday night. Loyd in the North Shore, setting frequencies right. AM and FM, the airwaves collide. DX Central Live, where the signals can't hide. Tuning in the static, chasing down the sounds. Every single signal is magic we have found. All radios hum, the chatters all agree. DX Central Live is the place to be. Folks in the chat, shout out your call. From east to west, we're breaking down the walls. It's the magic of the night, where frequencies fly. Join us now on DX Central Live.
From the Gulf South
to your corner of the world,
this is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Loyd Van Horn.
And welcome, my friends. Loyd Van Horn here for DX Central Live and DX Radio from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. And normally, for our DX Central Live folks, this is when you would see me on camera. We'd be getting ready to do some live DX and talking about DX and things like that. Well, we're not doing that tonight. because we're taking tonight and the next couple of weeks actually off from the on-camera piece to go parading. We're going to go do some Mardi Gras stuff because it's Mardi Gras season now here in Southeast Louisiana, and we're going to go do it because that's what you do. You go to the parades and you have a good time. So I thought it might be cool though to still give you some content that you could enjoy during this time, so you wouldn't just be bereft of entertainment. So it seemed like a good time for us to do our very first simulcast / crossover of DX Radio into our DX Central universe and DX Central Live universe. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually broadcasting and simulcasting DX Radio right now across all of our DX Radio platforms, our YouTube channel, our live stream on the YouTube channel, and on our website. This is probably dxradio.com as a website for those of you who are not familiar. And we're also simulcasting this on our DX Central live stream, which is dxcentrallive.com, and also on our YouTube channel at DX Central. So no matter which way you're watching, we appreciate you being here. And I wanted to kind of, when we started DX Radio, it was a result of you guys, our audience, being very supportive and enthusiastic about the music that we were creating, the DX themed music that was being created for DX Central Live at the time. And it was, okay, how do we get a hold of some of this music? Because we really like it. And so the idea came to me, let's do a radio station where we play all of that. So we worked up enough songs to create a rotation, and we're going to keep adding to it as we go along. And DX Radio was born. And then the question was, that's awesome, but we also want to have a way to be able to download that music and just like listen to it whenever we want to. Like, I want to hear this one particular song. And I found myself wanting the same thing, actually. So I kind of went back and forth on how to best do that. Do I just make the catalog available and like put it out there and whoever wants to download it can, But then I got to thinking, I want to make sure that our patrons, patreon.com/DXCentral, by the way, if you want to be one of those, our patrons, we want to do something to support them because they've been so supportive of us. So this is going to be something that the download portion of what we're about to talk about here is going to be exclusively available for our patrons. But I wanted to make, the idea came to me of like mixtapes from like the 90s or like mix CDs from the 2000s. Where you take and you make just a mix of your favorite songs, right? Well, that's kind of what we're looking at here. We're doing tonight our first volume of DX Radio mixtapes. And this first volume is Loyd's mix. It's mine. It's my favorite songs we've made so far for DX Radio. Now, when I started kind of trying to whittle this down from the 400 plus songs that we've created, it got down to like 60. And I was like, well, I don't want to just put out like a huge chunk of our catalog here and just make it available. I want to kind of space this out and make it, something that's enjoyable and kind of like cool. So we're going to do the mixtapes, and I'm starting off with the first 18 songs. And it's my favorite 18 songs we've created. And there's also a little history in here as well, a little DX Central Live history involved as well. And we're going to do additional ones. And then I think volume 2, we're going to let intern Gary take over and pick his songs that he wants to put on there, and that's terrifying. Volume 3, we're going to cook up something a little special, but this first one is going to be all of my favorite songs we've created so far, and we'll probably have a volume 2 and a volume 3, or a part 2, part 3 of that, of my favorites, because there's so many that I want to kind of put out there as like, these are my favorite songs. But yeah, we're going to have this available for download for our patrons, patreon.com/DXCentral, if you want to be a patron to be able to download these files. And that way you can listen to them whenever you want to. And I've been kind of doing that. I've actually put up this playlist mix on my Apple Music account here last week, and I've been kind of bopping around the house just listening to these songs, put them in the car, walk around the house, whatever. And it's been nice having access to those direct access to those songs that I wanted to hear. So what we're going to do here for you guys. And it starts with a little bit of history and the kind of impetus behind how this whole thing got started. So rewind back to the last season 5 of DX Central Live to 2024. And we were working on getting everything ready. And I knew I wanted to do something special for season 5. And I had just gotten into AI generated music. Our friend Yusuf over at AirSpy Prague on Twitter, he had posted a song about AirSpy SDRs on his Twitter account. And I listened to it and I was like, wow, how did he get that made? And I was like, it's got to be something AI. And I did some research and figured out it was. And I was like, well, I'm doing that because I want to make that something for our DX Central Live Season 5. We're going to produce DX-themed music. Because, I mean, my options were either to go pay someone to do that. I can't afford that. Or do it myself because I'm a musician, but I don't have the talent and the time to be able to just make it myself like that all the time and write all these songs. So I was like, I'm just going to do it so that we can produce a high quality product. It needs to be high quality. I'm not going to let it sound like crap. And we're going to produce these AI generated songs that are DX themed, and hopefully people will enjoy them. And we started that off with the first one was in the countdown portion, the 10-minute countdown clock for DX Central Live. We did our first 3, and we started with those 3, and then we had some bumper music that we made. We're coming in and out of breaks, or coming out of breaks rather, back into the show. And we were using AI generated music for some of those as well. And the response was very positive. We also did our theme song was AI generated. The closing song that we have at the end of the live show is AI generated. We did some other areas where we put some AI generated songs in there. So we were starting to kind of build this catalog, and people were really digging it. And I was like, that's awesome. So it started though with this song we're about to play right now. This is the very first song that I did on Suno, the place that we build our AI generated music from. And I did the prompt, and I was just like, hey, let's just try a Cajun waltz about a DXer who is DXing, and right before he gets an ID from the station, the signal fades out. And that's the premise for this song. It's called Signal Fades.
In the night, so dark and quiet, frequencies hum low like a riot, tuning in with all my might, searching for a voice in flight. Cajun air, it holds the sound, radio waves from town to town. Static crackles, mix and turn, waiting for that name to learn. Signal fades, the name's unknown, trying to catch it all alone. Mystery calls the night, my friend, searching till the very end. Moonlight dances on the dial, rumbling with that Delta style. Notes float softly in the wind, still I wait for news to send. Signal fades, the name's unknown, trying to catch it all alone. Mystery calls the night, my friend, searching till the very end. Bayou whispers keep me still, craving for that lingering thrill. Misted voices lost in haze, echoes in this southern maze.
So that was the song. That's the one that started the whole thing of us doing this DX-themed AI-generated music. And so, little Cajun waltz to get us started here. Now, to give you a little insight into the process, how this works, how we do these songs, AI-generated music. So it almost always starts with an idea that I have from my brain, right, of a theme, or at the very least, a musical style, a genre. And I dig deep into my memory banks from when I worked in radio and things like that. And we pull a very eclectic mix of music and song styles and genres and things like that. And so we'll start with either one or both of those. And I'm like, okay, let's do a song about this in this style. And then I go into Google Gemini is one of my AI tools that I use. And I tell it what I want to do. And it gives me the actual prompt to use for Suno, so I can really kind of hone in on the sound of what I'm looking for. And then it gives me a first draft of lyrics, along with some performance cues for the AI generator and things like that. So then I go through and I look at the lyrics, and I tweak them if I need to, and usually I do, because it's pretty good at writing lyrics, but it's not where I would say is like send it and go and it's perfect right off the bat. So I usually tweak it, and then we'll put everything into the prompt at Suno and generate the music, and then I listen to it, and it's got to meet my approval. Like, I'm not just taking the first one that it makes and then running with it. Like, I am super, super picky. I'll regenerate that song 15, 20 times if I have to, just to get the right feel, the right sound of it. It's got to meet my quality bar that we've set here. So if you're hearing something, it's because it's passed a rigorous lyric review, and then also the audible review of me reviewing the song, making sure it's not messing up like the timing and the pronunciation of words as much as possible, things like that. So that's kind of the process of how those songs are made. And so it's just me going through my catalog. Now, the cool thing about this is that if you listen long enough to DX Radio, you're getting a pretty good glimpse into my musical taste, because it's a lot of stuff that I like, right? It's a lot of music that I like, or bands that I like, or vibes that I like, or genres, or whatever, styles, whatever you want to call it. So as you listen to this, every song that you hear, there's a mile marker somewhere in my head that brought that to fruition, brought that about, because it's a song or a album or artist or whatever that I really, really like, and I'm trying to kind of hone in on that feel without like saying I want to copy this particular band, because you can't do that, and I wouldn't want to do that. But I do want to copy the feel that I'm listening for, right? Like, so like 90s grunge is one that I lean on every once in a while, or like a lot of 90s, because I went to high school in the 90s, so a lot of 90s like hip hop, a lot of 90s grunge, or indie, or alternative, things like that, or maybe like a 80s synthwave song or something like that, or a new wave or whatever. So I kind of start there and kind of go about it from there. So that's how that process usually works. And what usually happens when you do Suno is you'll put all that in, and it'll give you two versions of the song. And so you listen to the two versions, and if you like one or the other, you pick that one, and that's what you go with. If you don't like either one, then you move on, you redo it, and it keeps going until you find one you like. So I was doing this next song called Skip Zone, and it made two versions, and I was kind of going for kind of electronic, EDM, techno, house, kind of ravey kind of feel, because that's one of the genres that I like. And one of the versions that it made, it sounded like a remix of the other one. And so I was like, I'm going to keep both of these, and I'm going to label one of them as the remix. And that got me to thinking. I was like, I could do that. There's a lot of these songs that kind of have that kind of feel where they could be like a remix. Like, you see it all the time, bands that put their album out, and then you'll see like the remix version. I'm a big Radiohead fan. They've done that in the past and things like that. So it'll be like remixes of their stuff. So I was like, let's do remixes of our songs we've already made, because you can actually do that in Suno. You can say, hey, here's a song I've already created, and you pull up the song you made in Suno, and you say, I want to cover this, and then you just change the prompt and the performance cues and some of the lyrics and things like that to make a remix, and there you go. So that's how I started making remixes. So the whole remix category of stuff that's kind of one of the cornerstones of our After Dark late night rotation. Started with this song you're about to hear right now. This is called Skip Zone Remix.
Signals collide.
You're listening to DX Radio here on DX Central Live, and honestly, DX Central Live on DX Radio as well. Our crossover simulcast as we are out doing Mardi Gras parading, and I didn't want to leave you guys without the sound of my voice. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy. So that was a Skip Zone, the remix, and we talked about kind of the story behind that, how that was created, and what that then led to, which was doing remixes of our music. This next one, though, we're going to play, we'd been making a bunch of instrumental tracks, music beds that we could use for our production and imaging. So for our liners and our promos and our IDs and our different things that we were doing on DX Central Live even, I'd made a bunch of instrumentals, and I was like, I kind of want to put those in there too, because it was like lo-fi beats, which I'm a huge fan of lo-fi beat genre. And things along those lines, some hip hop stuff in there as well. I was like, let's throw that into the mix. So we said, let's actually make the After Dark rotation mostly instrumentals and remixes. So it's a little bit, so it stands out different from the daytime. We'll still put a couple of lyrical songs in the night as well after 9, but mostly you're going to hear instrumentals and remixes after dark. It's just a little more, it's a different feel different vibe after dark. And so we started throwing these in there. And this one that you're about to hear right now was one of the very first ones. It was a song that I made specifically for our DX Central Live announcement that we do of the new frequency challenge that we do every week, or every other week, or whatever it is. When we announce a new challenge, we have a little video that we play that shows the new challenge information, and this song plays underneath it. So this became the frequency challenge, was the name of the song. And so from that, I was like, let's just start putting all this stuff into our rotation. So the entire instrumental After Dark rotation was born from this next one right here. This is the frequency challenge. You're listening to DX Radio on DX Central Live, and I'm your host, Loyd Van Horn. And here in Studio A of North Shore Studios, and we're recording this on Wednesday night, and you're listening on Friday. And that's because I'm out probably doing Mardi Gras parade stuff, because that's what we're doing. We're taking this week and the next couple of weeks off for Mardi Gras parades, because as we say down here in Southeast Louisiana, laissez les bon temps rouler, which means let the good times roll, and we are doing that right now. So we've got a couple songs here that kind of show you the history behind some of the things that were motivating into us making DX Radio and making these songs. This next one kind of falls into that category as well. I didn't want to just limit it to like a certain genre or a certain style or a certain feel. I really wanted to open this up to all the music that I really enjoy. And one of the musical genres and styles that I absolutely love is salsa. I'm talking like the Fania All-Stars, Hector Lavoe, Willie Colon, that whole just like outstanding New York salsa style, right? So I wanted to kind of get something along those lines, including some that were in English and some that were in Spanish, because as you guys that watch DX Central Live know, I'm a big fan of Latin American DX. So part of that is the programming, the content that you hear on these stations, and that includes the salsa and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to have songs that kind of fell under that kind of feel. So this next one, we had just had a big solar storm, and it gave us some amazing auroral propagation, a lot of stuff down in Latin America, and I wanted to do something that had that kind of feel. So we did like a Dominican Republic merengue, right? And that became this next one you're going to hear. It's called Solar Storm Serenade.
In the sky, the sun gone wild. Charged up winds are running miles. Statics dancing with good light. Turn that down, the world inside. Hear that rhythm on 1140. Rio singing sweet and sporty. Buenos Aires calling clear. Sounds of summer in my ear. Oh, so last I'm serenade. The bands are burning. Signals parade. From Havana to Montevideo. The tropic tunes begin to play. Oh, so last I'm serenade. Every flare. Latin skies light up my night. I'm dancing to the skip tonight. Made a swing in Aurora glow. Outclass put on a show. Crackle fade then burst again. Havana's laughing through the rain. Voices drift through solar fire. My receivers heart's desire. Magnetic tangle storm and flame. Every hop repeats her name. Oh, so now storm serenade. The bands are burning. Signals parade. From Havana to Montevideo. The tropic tunes begin to play. Oh, so now storm serenade. Every flare. The DX ballet. Latin skies light up my night. I'm dancing to the skip tonight. Aye. On my Fred TV. Turn the loop and catch that song. The solar winds are singing strong. One more fade, one more surprise. The sun got rhythm in disguise. Oh, solar serenade. The world's alive in waves we made. From Chile's coast to Mexico. My radio won't let me go. Static never sounded so sweet. Keep it on frequency, mi amor.
Here at DX Radio, we aren't just about the music. I wanted DX Radio to also be kind of an outlet for some fun, some DX related fun, a smile on your face, maybe a glimpse into my sense of humor a little bit. But I wanted to have a chance for you guys to have something interesting to listen to besides just the music. So the personality of the station, since we don't have live DJs, started by forming our first on-air voice, and his name is Peter. And Peter is our voice of reason. He's also our voice of frustration at times. He is the consummate professional during the daytime, but he is and after dark at night, the tie is loosened, the bottle of scotch comes out, and Peter likes to have his fun, right? Good, clean, sensible fun, but a little mischievous, but fun nonetheless. He's not quite down for all the intern shenanigans that they get into, but he's down for just having a good time. So Peter has become kind of the personality of DX Radio, the voice of DX Radio, but also the personality. So as he goes, DX Radio's personality and our kind of vibe also goes. So I wanted to share with you guys, besides just the music that we've made, a little of a reminder of some of the fun stuff that we get into, little shenanigans that we get into with Peter here every once in a while. So I'm sharing with you some of our favorite production and imaging work that we've done with Peter. And this first one is my absolute favorite by far. We were doing this whole series of liners where Peter kind of falls under the influence of the interns a little bit, and they kind of have the That 70s Show basement circle thing going on. And Peter jumps in, he gets involved, and things kind of just dissolve from there. Well, we did a whole series of liners around that concept, and then I said, well, let's do some bloopers from those liners. And that brings us to this next piece that you're going to hear, my favorite piece of production that we've done, because it so eloquently shows Peter's personality coming through. This is our first blooper reel of Peter for DX Radio After Dark.
You are listening to DX Radio After Dark, broadcasting from the I have completely forgotten where we are. Are we in a basement? The walls feel like they are breathing. You are listening to DX Radio. I'm sorry. Gary is eating a banana, and it is the funniest thing I have ever seen. Look at him. He looks like a primate discovering fruit for the first time. All right, cut. We can't use that one. You're listening to DX Radio. My mouth is very dry. Does anyone have any juice? I require juice immediately. You're listening to DX Radio on DX Central Live. Or is it DX Central Live on DX Radio? Guessing we have kind of a peanut butter in my chocolate in my peanut butter thing going on here. Oh well, the point is, you're here, I'm here, we're here, and the music keeps on rolling. Oh shoot, now I am craving a Reese's Buttercup. Well, time to hit the vending machine.
The emptiness behind my eyes, a DX curse, a quiet truth. The more you catch, the more you lose. Heaven knows I'm nearly logged out. Oh fate, you spiteful swirling loud. Each fading tone, each distant hum reminds me what's still left is none.
That was Heaven Knows I'm Nearly Logged Out. And the story behind that one is that we're actually, I guess the realization kind of hit me is that every time you log a station, that's one less log that you've got coming your way, right? So it's cool to celebrate the logs, and I do. But, take some time to appreciate them because that's one less log you're going to get now. And so that framed my mindset, and I kind of had a British 80s British indie vibe in my head, and we did Heaven Knows I'm Nearly Logged Out. So there you go. This next one coming up is another one of our instrumental tracks, and it's by far probably my favorite instrumental track. I love the feel of it. I love the kind of tremolo synthesizer guitar feel that's in here. It's got that late night driving down the road vibe to it, and it's just, it fits me to a T. This one's called Driving the S Meter. It's DX Radio here on DX Central Live. Loyd Van Horn here with you, our host. And normally we're doing live DX this time of night over on DX Central Live, but we're taking a little bit of time off for the carnival season here in Southeast Louisiana, a little Mardi Gras action. And so I wanted to bring you something special. So we're doing our first ever crossover simulcast of DX Radio here on DX Central Live. And our theme for tonight is Mixtape Volume 1. This is our collection of songs that we have created here for DX Radio and for DX Central Live, and this is our first little mixtape that we're making, and this one is my list of my favorite ones. So these are all my favorite songs that we've created for DX Radio and DX Central Live so far, and sharing them with you here, along with some other goodies and little fun things as well, and little story time behind the scenes look into some of this, how all this kind of goes together at the same time. You've just heard a song called Driving the S Meter, probably my favorite instrumental track that we've made so far. Coming up next is probably my favorite remix, actually. One of my favorite remixes. And it is a song, the original song is called The Chemical Ground. And it was a song that I put together because I had just literally made a chemical ground for my low noise vertical AM antenna. And the chemical ground is a copper pipe that you drive into the ground, and you have some holes drilled into the bottom of it, and you fill it up with salt, and then you pour water down the pipe, and you let that salt seep into the ground right there next to the to the copper pipe, and it's basically supposed to increase the ground conductivity of that area and give you a better performing antenna. And it makes, on average, when I go out there, if I'm getting a little low on my salt content on the ground there, I'll go out and pump it up a little bit, add some salt, throw in the water in there, get everything nice and juiced up, and it makes about a 5 to 6 dB difference immediately on my my signal to noise ratio. So that's something to kind of think about. So I wrote a song. We did a song here for DX Central Live called The Chemical Ground. And when I was making remixes, I was like, oh, I've got to do that. Now, The Chemical Ground itself was kind of, again, electronic EDM kind of feel to it. A lot of synthesizers, kind of that electronic feel. But I wanted to do something a little 180 from that for the first remix. So we did kind of this like early to mid 2000s rock song with a heavy guitar riff, driving drums. I mean, it was that riff heavy era of post alternative, post grunge music, maybe still alternative, but definitely post grunge that we were in. And I thought it fit really, really well. So this is the Desert Fuzz mix of The Chemical Ground.
A plan, building up a charge. Chemical ground, break it down, shock the noise, flow through the town. Chemical ground, turn it down, your nose has it in the side. Ground in the cloud, catch the static in the soil. Chemical ground, turn it down, turn it up and let it pound. Sings when the salt goes down, 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 down. Ground's got teeth when the mix is right.
We are counting down our list of our favorite songs. Oh, no. My favorite songs. My radio station. No, we're doing our mixtapes. These mixtapes are collections of songs, and it was something that was requested by you guys, our listeners, our audience at DX Central Live, our patrons, who wanted to have a way to have a copy of some of the songs that we're making here, because you guys were really digging it and you loved what we were doing on DX Radio, but you wanted to be able to say, hey, I want to hear this specific song right now. So rather than just putting all the songs out there and just letting you kind of sort through it like the clearance bin at the record store or whatever, we're actually doing this in a little more methodical way. We're making mixtapes, collections of some of the different songs that we've made here, along with some other goodies like some of the production liners and skits and stuff like that thrown in for fun. And we're making those available to download, but only to our patrons, because our patrons keep the lights on. So because that is what they do, and because we want to say how thankful we are to our patrons, we gave them the password we're giving them the password to download this file of all of our songs on the album. And that's it. That's going to be the mixtape. And we're going to do more of these. We're going to have more than one mixtape. But here's the rub. These aren't going to be available forever. Okay? Once I put this mixtape up for our patrons to be able to download, once we give them the password to download this mixtape, it's only going to be up on the website for a little while. And then we're going to bring it down, and then that's it. It goes into the vault. So if you are liking the songs you're hearing tonight, your chance to download these is coming up, and it's going to be a short, quick window. So you'll want to go over to patreon.com/DXCentral and become a patron. We have multiple different levels that you can do that with. Become one of our patrons, and you'll get the password. So you can download this mixtape. And again, we will have additional volumes coming up. Our next one, we're letting intern Gary pick the songs. I don't know why we're doing that, but we're letting intern Gary pick the songs. I think it was Peter's idea. Wanted to give Gary something to do to leave him alone. So we're going to let him do that, and I would imagine it's going to be a pretty weird mix, because Gary's a pretty weird guy, but we love him. And then we'll have another volume after that. It's going to be a little something special for you guys that we're cooking up, but this one is my mix. This is my list of my favorite songs we've made so far here at DX Radio, okay? And the last song that we just did was The Chemical Ground, the Desert Fuzz Mix. And now we're about to go into another one of those kind of 90s alternative rock songs, because I went to high school in the 90s, so that was kind of my genre at the time. And this one is weird, which is right up my alley. It's a little absurd, a little off, which is right up my alley. I like weird. I like eccentric and eclectic music. And so this one is called The Bassline Ate My Antenna. And doesn't make any sense, but hey, did any music in the 90s, the lyrics ever make any sense? Nah. Just have fun with it.
I had reception.
Then the bass showed up. The speaker grill started walking around on its own free will. Knocked my tuner off the kitchen chair, antenna bent like it didn't care. Pop goes the string, slap hits hard, signal ran scared through the backyard. Neighbors yelling, what's that sound? That's the dial getting shook underground. I tuned real careful, I tuned real slow. Then the bass said,
Nope. Let's go.
the bassline ate my antenna. Chewed it up, spit it back. The bassline ate my antenna. Now the whole damn shack's off track. Low wind hitting like a landslide signal. Scatter when it lands. The bassline ate my antenna. And I don't think I'm getting it back. Freaks things run when the groove steps in. Static sweat starts caving in. Dial spins like it lost its mind. Every ball peg pin to the red line. I tried resisting.
rubber strings, bent notes, mud on the floor, no signal safe anymore.
Baseline ain't my antenna, and it's still hungry now. The baseline ain't my antenna,
Knock the clouds right out the sky. If you hear this mess come through, yeah, you're caught up in the plan. The baseline ain't my antenna, and it's eating the whole damn band. Reception status. Unrecoverable.
And we are now about halfway through our list of songs from our DX Radio Mixtape Series, Volume 1. This is Loyd's mix. I am Loyd, for those of you who may not be aware. And these are my favorite songs we've made so far for DX Radio and DX Central Live, because we're doing the simulcast right now between the two. And DX Central Live was the original home of DX Radio. That's where the whole thing started, was DX Central Live. And the music we were making for the live stream, and then that birthed the idea for, let's make it a radio station that's on all the time, 24 hours a day, so we can listen to the music whenever we want. And then we said, okay, but what if I want to listen to a specific song whenever I want? And that became the idea for the mixtape. See how this kind of stuff happens? You start with one idea, and it just evolves, and you're just constantly like figuring out the next thing to do, and that's the fun part of this a lot of times. So usually on Friday nights, what we're doing here, we're doing live DX, we're doing tips and tricks, and we're also doing shout outs. And the shout outs are our opportunity to let you tell us what you've been hearing and give you a virtual high five, give you a chance to, all of us have a chance to celebrate together your success, your DX success. And so I want to include some shout outs here into our broadcast tonight, our mixtape broadcast. That way we can still celebrate together all the great success that you guys are having out there in DX, because the conditions have been pretty great lately. So you can submit your shout outs as well. dxchallenges.com/shoutout. Send those in. Even if we don't get to them, we'll do them. We're not going to get to them tonight, obviously, because this is already recorded. I don't know if you knew that or not. But next week or the week after, we can get those shout outs in. And if something happens and we don't get it in before we come back on the 20th, we'll do it live. We'll do it live on our show on the 20th. So without any further ado, it's shout out time.
Shout out, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM to C to C. We celebrate the ones who snag your IT. Shout out, let it be known you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
That's the horn of victory. I hope I didn't just scare someone from our DX radio audience that's not used to our shenanigans from the live show. Make them like mess their britches or something. I can't believe I just said britches. Shout out time means we're reading what you have heard. And so we're not going to do all of them in big groups here. We're going to spread these out a bit. But again, dxchallenges.com/shoutout if you want to get yours in for next week or the week after. We start with Skywave Bird DX out in California. And our friend Skywave Bird DX was able to get in on some of the outstanding action that other folks were seeing. We missed it here in Mandeville, unfortunately. But back, was it 2 weeks ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? We had the most recent big solar storm, high energy, high speed solar winds, and that really jacked up the ionosphere in a big way. I don't mean jacked up like bad. I mean like it got it juiced. And that juiced up ionosphere, we believe, provided some F2 skip on low VHF analog TV frequencies channels. And we had some people hearing several different locations down in Latin America. Now, it's entirely possible this could have been double hop E, because around the same time, people were working down into the Caribbean, places like that on 6 meters, but that could have also been F2 skip, right? They could have also been experiencing F2. So the prevailing thought right now is this is F2 skip, but we'll see if that changes at all. I'm on board with that. I thought from the beginning, I thought it was F2 skip. I was starting to come around to the idea of double hop E, but I'm sticking with my F2 here. Skywave Bird DX, first foreign TV DX with a logging of TG3-3. That's Canal 3, Channel 3 for our friends north of the border. From Guatemala with strong audio and confirmation of video carrier frequency. Distance is 2,210 miles from California to Guatemala. So we do a little thing here at DX Central Live. When someone has a shout out, we have little themes of different categories of shout outs that they can do, and one of those is a brand new country. And for tonight, we are stamping a passport. That's what we do when we have someone with a brand new country. As they're standing in line at the airport, they're going through customs or whatever, and they're gonna get their passport stamped. So we do that, and we blow the horn of victory. That's what we're doing right now, is we blow the horn of victory. It's a little less effective when we're not seeing all of the things I'm talking about on the screen, but you get the idea. Another thing that we do is whenever somebody gets a new log, we saw a log. That's right, we break out the chainsaw and we saw a log. And we blow the horn of victory for them. So well done, Skywave DX, my friend. Outstanding to get Canal 3 there from Guatemala. That's outstanding. And our next shout out comes from our friend Aiden up in Michigan. Aiden is a great DXer, gets a lot of good stuff up here, and so he usually has quite a few catches, and we're going to give you that list now. Welcome to the first edition of Aiden's Logs. We should have a theme song for this. It's a mini edition this time. In this installment, we'll be focusing on my new logs I've gotten between Friday and Monday that were a result of the Southern Enhancement. Of course, the auroral regulars for me, like ZNS 3 on 810, Radio Musica Nacional on 590, and the notorious Rebeldy Wall on 1180. That is trademark. I'm trademarking that one because that's a Loyd Van Horn DX Central original, the Rebeldy Wall. You heard it here first. Plus many other Cubans. However, this was made to shed light on the less regular stuff. 1020 Radio Artemisa in Cuba. That's his 9th or 10th Cuban. He's got, so depending on if I got Radio Trinchera or XERT on 1170, he's still kind of debating that one a bit. 1,337 miles, heard Spanish talk instead of usual suspect KDKA. Then I heard a distinct jingle. They do have a very distinct jingle at Artemisa. Then I played the stream and that same jingle played. Yes, well done. Their jingle is very, very unique and very, it stands out very well. 1540 ZNS1 Nassau, Bahamas. That's the number 2 station from the Bahamas for him. And for most people, that will be the second one they usually get. 1,242 miles, just short of 2,000 kilometers. Remember when I said this one was elusive and I didn't get it last week? Well, I ended up finally logging it last minute for the 1540 challenge. And this is one I've wanted for quite a while now. He has a clip he'll share here of this station. When you play it, listen for ZNS. Yes, we shall do that here in a second. 1170 WKFL in Bushnell, Florida. That is number 9 from the state of Florida for Aiden. Again, Aiden is in Michigan. 939 miles, heard some rock music and matched it to their stream. This could have been that country station I heard on 1170, since WKFL does play some older country. They do indeed. I've heard them here. 1140 WVVO in Orlando, Florida, number 10 from that state. 957 miles, rather. Heard some salsa music that didn't match Miami, but did match WVVO stream. I think I'm going to pass here since not many stations play this music, play a lot of syndicated programming. 540 WFLF in Pine Hills, Florida. That's number 11. Wow, this shout out is very Florida heavy. Yes, it is. 963 miles. Heard a clear ID stating News Radio 540 WFLA Orlando. And finally, I can add XECPAE as a true log. I heard them good Saturday night with traditional Mexican music parallel to stream. That's now Mexico number 4 and the second from Mexico City. That's it for this mini shout out. Now on to the clip. And again, this clip is from ZNS1 in the Bahamas on 1540. There you go. That is ZNS Bahamas, as heard from Michigan by our friend Aiden. So we got a couple things to hand out here. He heard a brand new station from Latin America that he hadn't heard before. So we're going to dole out a new Latin American station award, or whatever you want to call it here. And the new log we're going to saw here for you as well. Well done, my friend. All right, that'll do it for this edition, this round of shout-outs. We'll be getting more from Aiden and our friend Stuart in the future round. And don't forget, you can still submit yours at dxchallenges.com/shoutout. We'll get them in for next week or the week after, somewhere in here. We'll get your shout-out in here and read them out here on DX Radio and DX Central Live. Back to the music we go. This next one is a... as a DXer, a lot of times we're doing this late night kind of thing, right? We're doing the late night DX. We're sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning, bleary eyed, trying to hear an ID. And a lot of times it's from a station running coast to coast AM. And if you've been doing this DX thing for a while, like I and a lot of other folks have, that meant that back in the 90s and 80s and whatnot, you were hearing Art Bell. And so this next one is our tribute to Art Bell. It's called Night Signals.
Signal beaming through the stars, tuning in.
listening to DX Radio on DX Central Live. DX Central Live on DX Radio. You get it by now. Here is another song about the ionosphere, or feed lines, or something.
Scraping at the big blue sky. I got antennas, wall to wall, big ones, small ones, I've got them all. I can't pay rent, but the signal's clear. Antenna man's got no cash, my dear. Neighbors peeking, they're all confused. What's he building? Has he lost his screws? It's a monument to the airwaves' mind. Who needs dinner when the radio buys? Static hums like a lover's tune. FM whispers under the moon. I got antennas, wall to wall, big ones, small ones, I've got them all. Antenna man's living on radio air. Towering poles like an alien hive. I'm broke, but baby, I feel alive. Signals crackle, they call my name. Got no money, but I'm winning the game. Man's living on radio air.
So this is kind of the unofficial theme song of DX Central and North Shore Studios, right? I got antennas. Because that's kind of our thing here. Is we're up around what, 20 now, 22 between AM, FM, ham radio, ADSB, TV, DX, the stuff we have up in the attic, the stuff that's on the house and the yard. Yeah, we're up there now, 20 some odd antennas, I think. So, but we're still looking for the next one, and that's not even counting what we have over at Shortwave Central around the corner. I know our buddy Walt is a big fan of that song. You can find him here on YouTube at Coastal Waves and Wires. That's his channel name. And I highly recommend that you check it out, because if you're into antennas or building your own antennas, that's what his focus of his channel is. He's got a lot of great videos on making and building antennas. Most of them are ham radio, but the principles still apply. You can learn a lot. And he actually published a book with a bunch of designs of different antennas, like a DIY antenna cookbook almost. So you can check him out. Coastal Waves and Wires is his YouTube channel. Definitely check out our buddy Walt, because every time I hear that song now, I think of him. That's why I bring it up. All right, that was another one of our favorites. We're doing our mixtape here of my favorite songs that we've created here for DX Central Live and DX Radio. And we're starting off with the first 18 or so, and we're now just past halfway. And this is going to be volume 1 of our mixtapes. We're going to do different themes, okay, of these mixtapes. And we're going to make these available for download, but only for our patrons. You have to be a patron to be able to get the password to be able to download these mixtapes. And they're only going to be available for a very short amount of time. So it's not like we put them up and then 2 years later, you can still... No. These are going to be a limited time availability for our patrons to download. So if you want to do that, go to patreon.com/DXCentral and go ahead and sign up. That way, when I do post the password and all this stuff, you'll be notified. when we have this ready to go. For our next song on the list here, we are going back to another instrumental, and this is another one that kind of exemplifies something I said earlier about if you listen to DX Radio long enough, you're going to get a really good sense for my musical tastes. This is one of those, and I'm a big fan. I love the kind of the dub tape delay sound of kind of that dub reggae music sound, and I don't know why. It's just I've always loved that kind of echoey guitar sound. So that brings us to our next instrumental here on the list. This is Sporadic Dub. I'm telling you, man, music like this slows my brain down, gives me a nice chill, relaxed feel. I let the echo kind of just reverberate through, and it does something, man. You're listening to DX Central Live on DX Radio and DX Radio on DX Central Live. Like Peter said, we kind of have a Reese's thing going on here. And we're counting down our top 18, or I guess our 18 favorite songs, I'll put it that way, that we've created here for DX Radio. And we're a little over halfway now. And getting close to the, I guess, the number 1 spot, but it's actually number 18, I guess. I don't know, whatever. These aren't really in like a order or rank, I guess. This is just kind of like, here's the 18 songs. There's a whole bunch more that I wanted to put in here that I'm just going to have to wait and do for a future volume. Again, we are here tonight doing this because I am off. Instead of doing my usual live show live on camera and everything, I'm taking a couple weeks off for some Mardi Gras time. So we're recording this ahead of time. And here in a little bit, we'll be doing some more shout outs from our audience. You can put your shout outs in dxchallenges.com/shoutout. We won't get to it this week, obviously, because this, again, is pre-recorded, but next week or the week after, or even when we come back, we'll do it live. We'll have those shout outs ready to go. So dxchallenges.com/shoutout. Just send your shout outs in of what you've been hearing. New logs, new countries, new states. I know a lot of you have been getting some really cool stuff lately. I've been seeing it in the Slack channel on social media. So come on, let's hear about it. We want to give you that virtual high five and celebrate together. We're going to do another track that's from our After Dark kind of late night rotation here. I mentioned the remixes earlier. This is one of those remixes. This is a remix of a reggaeton song that we made called La Señal que Viene y Va. And we're doing a kind of Dembo, Bombotron, kind of like high energy club mix. So this is the remix of La Señal que Viene y Va.
Oye, súbele al dial. La señal viene, la señal va. Vamos allá. Late night, I'm tuning in slow. Started moving like a shadow in the glow. Dembo hitting while I ride that way. Searching for a voice from far away. De pronto escucho un murmullo así. Un ritmo suave que me habla a mí. Latinoamérica cruzando el mar. En mi radio empieza a cantar. Turn it up, turn it right, feel it skip tonight. Siente como sube la señal en fly. Move the loop, dale más, deja que se vea. That distant voice en aquí la idea. La señal que viene y va. Riding on the night like baile nada más. La señal que viene y va. Mami, when it fades yo la busco más. La señal que viene y va. Crossing all the maps to mi antena ya. La señal que viene y va. If you feel the beat then tú sabes ya. Flow noise flow and the sky's on fire. Solar stones doing what they desire. Pero sigo aquí en la oscuridad, cazando voces de otra ciudad. Un poquito arriba, un poquito más de la táctica, la magia se da y en el dial encuentro un corazón cantando en clave su nueva canción. Turn it up, turn it right, feel the skip tonight. Siente como vibra la señal en fly, let it fade, let it rise, dale, déjala, que cada salto tiene su verdad. La señal que viene y va, riding on the night like baile nada más. La señal que viene y va, mami when it fades yo la busco más. La señal que viene y va, crossing all the maps to mi antena ya. La señal que viene y va, if you feel the beat then tú sabes ya. Cuando sube yo la sigo, cuando baja yo no me rindo. La noche canta, yo respiro, la señal viaja, yo la digo. La señal que viene y va, viene desde lejos, tú la sientes ya. La señal que viene y va, if you chase the wave it will always come back. La señal que viene y va, vamos a bailarla, déjala sonar. La señal que viene y va, DX en el ritmo, vámonos ya.
You know, I was the one that thought up this whole crossover thing. No, it's true. I told Loyd, Loyd, you deserve a break. Why don't you take a few weeks off for Mardi Gras or something? You know what he said? No, he said, but what will we fill the time with on Friday night? Like anyone would even notice. Wait, is the microphone on? Tell me you weren't just recording that, Gary. Oh boy, I am definitely going to be getting a memo about that one tomorrow.
Ladies' Night.
So we did 2 remixes there for you. We did our first one, that Dembo Boombatron remix of our reggaeton, the La Señal que viene y va, right? That was the ionospheric laser mix. And then it was a BOGO. You buy one, you get one free, or you hear one, you get another one. And that was our Let the Moose Loose mix of Signal Drop at Midnight. One of those great remixes that I'll be listening at night. I'm in the shack or in the studio, whatever, doing a little work, and that one will come up on the radio, and I'm just like, yeah, here we go. So, love that one. It's DX Radio here on DX Central Live, and conversely, DX Central Live on DX Radio. We're bringing this to you pre-recorded tonight because we are taking some time off for Mardi Gras and enjoying some of the Mardi Gras festivities down here in the southeast Louisiana region, around New Orleans. And but still wanted to give you something entertaining to tune into. So whether you're watching us on our DXCentralLive.com website, or if you're listening to us on thisisprobablydxradio.com, or either of our YouTube channels, DX Radio is at Probably DX Radio, and then DX Central Live is at DX Central. So no matter which way you're watching us or listening to us or whatever, there's not much of a visual here. But no matter which way you're tuned in, we appreciate you being here. We're getting closer now to our last couple of songs here, but we got one that I want to play. This is one that my wife, I kind of explained to her what we have going on here with DX Radio and play her some of the songs that we make every once in a while. But this song right here is one that she actually gets stuck in her head. We were listening to it in the car the other day. She came home and she was singing it, right? So I know this one's catchy as all get out. So enjoy getting this one stuck in your head, because I did too. It's a lot of fun. This is kind of a jazz fusion, progressive rock, just a spiraling song about an idea that I had of, what if it's a DXer that gets to hear the very first signals that originate from a civilization outside of Earth? What if they decide to do it on AM or FM radio instead of, way up in the gigahertz and those kinds of places that SETI and all the others are always looking? What if they transmit an AM or FM signal and it's a DXer that hears that very first intergalactic or interstellar transmission from another civilization? So that's what brings us to this song called The Sagan Frequency.
traveling faster than the speed of light. It's not a weather balloon, it's not a secret test. It's the ultimate DX. Put the logbook to the rest. We are not alone. The static is gone. I need a bigger antenna.
Gary? Gary! Go get me a Reese's cup. No. It's your turn. Good Lord. Have I really become friends with the interns? Gary! Pull your pants back up! No one needs to see the dark side of your moon, mate. Oh, I forgot. You're listening to DX Radio, but also DX Central Live. It's this whole crossover thing. And Loyd made a mixtape, and you would have had to have been here from the beginning, I guess. Stop it, Gary!
See the sound, watch it flow. Radio, video. See the sound, watch it flow. Radio, video. Analog to digital, capture every interval. Analog to digital, capture every interval. Waterfall display, night and day, spectrum wide, nowhere to hide. Waterfall display, night and day, spectrum wide, nowhere to hide. Sample rate, calibrate, visual, digital. Sample rate, calibrate, visual, digital. Processing, decoding, receiving, believing. Waterfall display, night and day, spectrum wide, nowhere to hide. Waterfall display, night and day, spectrum wide, nowhere to hide. Quiet down. See the sound.
Another one of those, man. I tell you, when I'm putting these songs together, when I'm making these songs, I'm usually thinking of stuff that's like upbeat. It's energetic. It's gonna get you moving. Now, there are some slower songs and some other ones that are more kind of like laid back or whatever. But the vast majority, especially the lyrical stuff that we do before the live show, it's there to get you pumped up. It's there to get you excited, get the blood flowing, get you ready for some good DX, things like that. So Waterfall Display, that one we just played, yeah, that's in that genre. That's definitely in that genre. This next one is, as we talked earlier about my musical taste and styles, this is kind of on the fringes of some of my musical taste that I have. It's another one that started off as a song called Numbers in the Noise, which kind of had this kind of glitchy art rock kind of feel to it. And then I said, well, we're going to take that glitchy art rock and we're going to amp it up about 20 times over and make a remix that was inspired by a couple of particular producers that I'm not going to mention by name, but I'm a big fan of. So this is the remix of Numbers in the Noise. This is the Chalk Lotus mix. That tells you anything.
47 46 46 like a cheap antenna. Heavy size, hear noise, static, aluminum static.
See, I told you. A little glitchy, a little weird, but man, that breakbeat though, and those scat vocals, that's 100% Loyd approved. That's right up my alley. That's right in my wheelhouse right there, what you just heard. We are getting close now to the end of our first volume of mixtapes here for DX Radio on DX Central. And before we do that, I mentioned the mixtapes earlier and that you'll be able to download them if you're a patron. And that we weren't just going to be putting in music onto these. We're also going to put in some of the production stuff that we've been doing with Peter, our voiceover guy. I'm also going to put in some from Sean Kutzko, KX9X, our other voiceover guy that does a lot of voice work for DX Central Live. He's been doing some voice work for DX Radio. We have some of the jingles from Stuart, our friend Stuart up in Michigan. So we're gonna be dropping a lot of these little tidbits into the mixtape as well that we like. And another thing we're also going to put in there is some of the skits. Now, the backstory on the skits is that there was a week, and I forget which week it was, where I was doing the DX party, kind of the pre-show show. It's before the countdown, before the actual live stream, and it's the DX party with you go, Rachel, and it's really there to kind of get, a lot of folks like to jump in the chat early before the show and kind of sit there and chit chat back and forth, and I'm all here for it. So I want to give you guys that place to kind of congregate and kind of get settled in and talk about what you've been hearing and whatnot, or ask questions or whatever. And so that's what the DX party is. It's you have a place to go chat, and while you do, we got this really cool music that we're going to play for you too, and Rachel does reminders and stuff. So we had done a bit 1 week of a listener calling in to do a request. And I had a lot of fun putting that together, and I was like, we should do more of that. And so that week I was like, let's do a skit, and we'll air it like right before the show intro, right before I push the show intro and actually go on camera. And so that week we did our first one. It was the reverse propagation specialist. And the idea was that I think that week I had my antennas pointed north, but somewhere in there, all the DX started coming from the south. And there was a week where I'd had all my antennas pointed east and everything was coming from the west. And I was like, every time I have my antennas pointing the direction, the DX is coming from the opposite way. And so that was the idea for a reverse propagation specialist. You tell me where you want to hear from, and I'll point my antenna in the opposite direction, because once I do that, you're guaranteed to be getting DX from that direction. So that was the first skit that we did. So we're going to be putting one or two skits in there into the mixtape. This one, though, is probably my favorite that we've done. Because it was a play off on kind of the true crime podcast that are so popular these days. And we did one, it was called the Frequency Files. And we just had that January winter sporadic E opening for like a week. We had every day sporadic E for like a week. And, so I was like, let's do like a kind of a play off, like, oh, is it really the ionosphere acting weird? The sun really ionizing the ionosphere, or was it the government doing it for their own benefit? And we had the host was Callum McFittich and whatnot. So I won't give you all the details, but yeah, it's a fun little bit. So that's what we're going to play for you now. Is we're going to play our skit for the Frequency Files.
This week on the Frequency Files podcast with Callum McFittich.
It happened on a Tuesday in January. The temperature outside was 32 degrees. The ionosphere should have been asleep, but it wasn't. Witnesses say the FM band opened up like a wound. Sleepy little towns in Minnesota, Missouri, and Florida were suddenly faced with an FM band that was completely unrecognizable, all in the dead of winter.
I was just driving to work, and suddenly I heard a morning zoo crew from Connecticut. I live in Minneapolis. It felt wrong. It felt illegal.
Scientists call it winter sporadic E, but I call it a cover-up. Was it the weather, the sun, or was it something else? Be sure to catch the next episode of the Frequency Files podcast, where we ask the question, did the sun just hiccup, or did the government prime the bands for their own benefit?
You can only find the Frequency Files podcast at podcasts.conspiracy.audio.radio.propagation. Sheesh. You know what? Just Google it. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Filthy, absolutely filthy bassline. I didn't know the subwoofer could even go that low. Gary, put that phone down. I said put it down. Do not post that video to the Discord. No, I was not dancing. I was performing a structural integrity test on the studio floorboards. You are listening to DX Radio, where the funk is strictly for engineering purposes. Delete the video, Gary, or we are going to have a little test of the waterproofing of that iPhone.
Fun story about that song that we just heard. That was called So Much to Log. And it's another one of our great instrumentals. And it takes me back to a time when I hear that, I'm instantly transported back to when I was working college radio. I was program director and promotions director for our campus radio station. And I used to get these tickets from the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in Charlotte because we were just west of Asheville. Most of our students that were at the college I went to, most of them came from Charlotte. So the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater was giving us tickets all the time for the radio station to give away for these concerts like Foo Fighters and Dave Matthews Band and Red Hot Chili Peppers and all these big acts. And so that song kind of takes me back to that feeling of those concerts and sitting on the lawn watching the show and all the aromas that you would have at shows like that. Aromas that our interns would probably absolutely love. All right, we are right up against it, and our last song of our playlist here. But before we do, I want to do another round of shout-outs.
Shout out loud, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM to C to C. We celebrate the ones who snag the ID. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
All right, so this is our second round of shout-outs for this week. You can get yours in for next week or the week after, wherever we can kind of squeeze it in. dxchallenges.com/shoutout. That's where you'll want to send those in. For this next one, we have another little mini shout-out here from our friend Aiden up in Michigan. And we also have our friend Stuart up in Michigan. Michigan checking in very nicely on this edition of the shout-outs here for our first crossover event. So let's start with our buddy Aiden up here. So we heard the one we did earlier, some of the stuff that he was getting. This is, what's this? Another edition of Aiden's Logs Mini Edition? Well, this installment, we're sharing Tuesday's new logs, plus a couple of extras that he left out from the previous few days. So, Aiden reports. 1380 WPHM in Port Huron, Michigan, for number 62 from that state. 61 miles, some talk about the Blue Water area in an effort try to get some low-hanging fruit out of the way. This log furthers my long-term goal to get every station on AM within 100 miles. There you go. Other than, besides TISs and stuff like that. 1050 CHUM in Toronto. That's his 31st from Ontario. Man, I've got like 2 from Ontario. It's a little more rare here. Mexico is my answer to the Canadians. 208 miles for Aiden. Hearing faint sports talk under his local station. Also plays sports talk. My top candidate for that was CHUM, and they were playing ESPN programming. Was also playing on the New York station. They went to commercials, and I was able to match the commercials I was hearing on my radio on a Toronto SDR. Many commercials mentioned Canada, so those specific ones there. So there you go. 1570 WTWB in Auburndale, Florida. That's number 12 from the state of Florida. We had quite a few of those last time. 984 miles. Now we're on to Tuesday's 2 logs. I heard regional Mexican music and didn't match it to any streams till about 5:50 p.m. when I heard the same song on WTWB stream, but I did save the best for last, and that was 590 XEFD in Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico. I can say that now. Number 5, and his first from Tamaulipas. 1,402 miles tuned to 590, expecting to hear a mix of radio music and nationality Cuba, semi-local to be KZO, but this time it was a little different. Instead of the usual during Auroral Southern Enhancement classical music, I was greeted with regional Mexican music, which happened to match a stream of XEFD La Mejor. As mentioned earlier, this is a New Mexican state for me, and that makes 4 of them, 2 from Mexico City, 1 from Coahuila, 1 from San Luis Potosi, and now 1 from Tamaulipas. Make these mini editions seem more mini, I'm only going to add an air check to every other edition. That's cool. So, we have a nice little shout out here for our friend Aiden. We like to do these on our live stream when we do the shout outs. We have these little videos that play, so it's going to lose some of its luster when you hear it compared to what you see on the screen and hearing at the same time. But we're going to blow the horn of victory here for him here in a minute. That's the horn of victory. And then we're also going to roll this one. This one is for him getting a brand new Mexican state. So our friend Aiden with a brand new Mexican state, Tamaulipas. That's number 4 And this one came from La Mejor. Yeah. And he got some new logs in here, so we're going to do that as well. We also saw the logs. Whenever you get new stations, we saw a log or two or whatever on your behalf. Well done, Aiden, my friend. And that brings us to our buddy, Stuart. Thanks to the generosity of the Slack crew, this is Stuart up in Michigan. Stuart's the guy who does the jingles, by the way. All the jingles you hear on DX Radio, that's Stuart. Thanks to the generosity of the Slack crew, I received quite a few new AM Skywave stations on my HDR 14 this past Tuesday night. Yes, he did. Rock 970, WWRK in Florence, South Carolina, 595 miles. Here we go. Here's where I'm really getting excited for, because this is the stuff that when I started getting this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. Gotta go radio. And I say it like that because that's how the voice guy does it on the station. 810 HJCY. Gotta go radio. In Bogota, mixing with ZNS3, which is in the Bahamas. So he had the Bahamas and Colombia at the same time. Colombia, the country, not South Carolina. It was matching it up with the Colombian Kiwi for a new distance record, or tied his distance record, at 2,670 miles. And Radio Querétaro, 1200 XECPAC in Yalpan de Serra. I hope I said that one right. I got a little cocky at the Tamaulipas, and then I can't have to do this one. Okay. 1,719 miles and a new Mexican state. 1510 KMSD in Milbank, South Dakota, 673 miles. Now, he was trying to hear Radio Monumental out of Ecuador on 1510 for a good portion of the night when WLAC was off the air because of the ice storm before they came back on. Unfortunately, no luck. So he's definitely going to keep trying and hoping that one day he'll be able to hear them, or any station from Ecuador for that matter, on his portable. There you go. So, just like our friend Aiden up in Michigan, our friend Stuart also gets a new Mexican state. All right. And he got some new logs. So we give him the log saw. There we go. There we got it right. Have to get a couple revs in there sometimes. That was our friend Stuart with the shout out there. Again, you can get yours in for next week or the week after, whenever we can kind of squeeze them in here. dxchallenges.com/shoutout. But before we get to our final song of the mixtape, let's do a really quick look back to what we've played so far. Okay, so if you're thinking about being a patron, patreon.com/dxcentral, so that you can download this mixtape, because only our patrons are going to get to do that. If you're thinking about becoming a patron, but you want to know what are you getting for it, maybe you weren't here earlier on in the show, well, here's a recap, a little look back at the songs that we played here on volume 1 of our mixtape, Loyd's mix, my favorite songs that we've played and made so far here for DX Radio. We started off with the very first one. This is the OG, right? Our little Cajun waltz, Signal Fades, which led us to our first remix that we made, Skip Zone. Isn't that one fun? The energy on that one, I like putting that one in the car and cranking it all the way up and like feeling the bass. A lot of fun. I highly recommend you do that sometime. The Frequency Challenge instrumental was our next one that we had up on our list here. It was one of the first ones that we did where we were like, you know what, let's just start playing some instrumentals at night too. In addition to the lyrical stuff we're making in the remixes, let's do some instrumentals too. Solar Storm Serenade, our Dominican Republic merengue song about the glory that is a big solar storm that gives you southern enhancement. Followed up by Heaven Knows I'm Nearly Logged Out, because remember, for every station that you log, that's one less one that you're going to have yet to log. So enjoy them, appreciate the logs that you do get, and take those not for granted, but with a lot of pride and high fives. Instrumental time with Driving the S Meter, one of my absolute favorites. It's kind of that late night driving feel and had this little tremolo effect, and love it. The Chemical Ground Desert Fuzz Mix, bringing the energy, bringing the heat, literally just bringing you the taking that kind of dance song and turning it on upside down with a nice big rock riff. Loved it. More rock with the bass line, Ate My Antenna. Weird, a little eccentric, a little absurd, but that's kind of our thing around here, isn't it? Night Signals, our ode to Art Bell was up next. Nice little 80s arpeggiated synthesizer feel to our homage to Art Bell. That was followed up by the theme song of pretty much every DXer. Either I want them or I got them. I got antennas. You either want to have a bunch of antennas or you got them. And we definitely, here at North Shore Studios, we definitely have those antennas. That was followed up by Sporadic Dub, our reggae dub instrumental, to kind of give you a nice chill, relaxed vibe. La Señal que Viene Va, the ionospheric laser mix, was our next one. A nice little remix that we did of that reggaeton song. That was followed up by another remix, Signal Drop at Midnight, the Let the Moose Loose mix. Because sometimes you have to go north of the border to get your inspiration. And the Sagan Frequency was next, and that postulates the question, what if it was a DXer? That was the first one to hear signals from another civilization outside of Earth. I mean, who says they have to be broadcasting up in the microwave portion of the bands or up in the gigahertz? Maybe they're going to be broadcasting on AM or FM. Because, that's a feasible place to broadcast if you're close enough. And the Sagan Frequency was that one. That then brings us to Waterfall Display. Just a nice driving, cool, grooving, funky dance song. And then one of my favorites, especially on the remix side, the Chalk Lotus mix of our little glitch synthwave EDM song, Numbers in the Noise. And then a little venture back to my college days with So Much to Log, a great little 90s jam band instrumental. And that brings us to our final song of the playlist and the mixtape here. And this is one that the first time we played it, you guys loved it. Every time we played it since, we use this bumper music coming out of our breaks on DX Central Live. You guys, every time we play it, someone in the chat will say, I love this song. And it is my favorite. This is our trip to Skip City.
Signals in the night. Every dial's a city light. Sky's alive, the band's awake. I'm driving through the static haze. Every flare, every spark pulls me closer through the dark. Can you feel it start to rise? The airs are rolling in tonight. Welcome to us not to blame. Welcome to Skip City. No maps, no rules, no ground. Just signals riding solar winds, forever circling round. Stay a while, don't fade away. The night's alive, the band's in play. It's Skip City. We'll meet again on frequency. Somewhere in the static, I think I heard your voice.
And that's going to do it for this edition of DX Radio on DX Central Live. DX Central Live on DX Radio. Our first crossover simulcast here, where we brought you Volume 1 of our DX Radio mixtape series. This one was Loyd's mix, my favorite songs that we've created so far here at DX Radio and DX Central Live. We got to some shout-outs this week, but hey, if you want to get your shout-outs in for next week or the week after, dxchallenges.com/shoutouts. Send them in, and when we record the next one, we'll get you in there. We'll be back live on camera on February the 20th, but for the next couple of weeks, this is where you'll want to be, and you're going to be hearing us on DX Radio, which is at thisisprobablydxradio.com or youtube.com/@probablydxradio. You can also tune in on our other side, dxcentrallive.com and youtube.com/@dxcentral. So either of those 4 different ways, you have all these different ways that you can tune in the next couple of weeks while we're doing our little Mardi Gras hiatus. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little trip down, a little history for you, a little story time for you on some of these songs that we've brought to you. And hopefully it's giving you something to tap your toes to and enjoy while maybe you're working on your logbook or winding a transformer or whatever you kids are doing these days. We'll see you next week, my friends. Take care. Best of DX 73. Now let's go hit the bands.
We extracted this audio from the noise floor, cleaned it up, and gave it a name. It doesn't get fresher than this. It's new music on DX Radio.
I got the text at 5:15. The MUF is climbing on the screen. From 88 to Hendo 8, the irons just refuse to wait. I'm stuck behind a minivan. Does she not know